sharing a story. That's my own personal story. In 1980, I had the opportunity to go from Mumbai, that's where I was working, to the United States under an exchange program. And that was for 1 year. And after it was over, when we were getting ready to come back to India, the people or a person who was representing a press asked me, "What are you taking back home?" I do not know what that person wanted or what kind of answer she was looking for, but I answered, "I am taking back home self-confidence." And that indeed was what I was taking home at that time, and I was 100% honest about it. Any opportunity that we get in this global economy for any kind of international experience, where we go from one country, one culture, to another culture, another country, just live there, if possible, work there, and come back with any kind of experience that you have, that's going to be outstanding in this global economy, particularly in these two fields. One, your own professional field, whether it is going to be medicine, science, social work, teaching, IT, or whatever it is, in that area. Additionally, in this international cross-cultural exchange, we become more proficient in and able to relate to people from other culture. That is the purpose of the organization that I am working with. Council of International Programs, started in '56 with the mission of, or the vision of, promoting global peace through two processes. One, building international relationship through professional development and training, and the other, cross-cultural exchange. That is the two aspects that I was talking about. So how do we do that? We do by we have done over the years, as the coordinator was telling, we have brought over 15,000 people from 147 countries in the last history. And as he mentioned, very few from India. Not because there isn't opportunities, but I think the word has not gotten around much and people do not know about this opportunity. I am so delighted that I'm getting this opportunity to share that with you. And I hope in the next couple of days, you will try to stop me on the hallway or in a room or pick up any information that I have shared, and I will have a leaflet at the main registration desk tomorrow to learn about how do we do that. So we do it two ways. One, we bring professionals, anyone who is working, anyone who has a bachelor's degree, who is interested in coming to the United States to work for 1 month, 6 months, year, maximum year and a half, we will issue the visa. We are authorized by the US State Department to sponsor J1 training visa. So there are two types of work visas. So there is one type of work visa, which is H1, which you probably are familiar with. That's not what we issue. We can issue 250 visas, professional work-based training. So you come, you work full-time, and what you do is not just work, but you enhance your knowledge and skills so that you can bring back to your own country, your own community, your own industry where you would be working. That is one program. The other program is we organize short-term professional development, like 1 week, 10 days, or 2 weeks program, where people or professionals of one discipline. It could be architects, it could be IT professional, teachers, social workers, you name it. It could be any group of professionals, but from the same field. They come and we organize intensive training programs. This Saturday, the 19th, we will have in Chicago 7 judges from the Republic of Kyrgyzstan. So the judges are coming to learn about the the legal system in the United States, particularly the jury system. So we have put together an intensive workshop for them, so they come back with that kind of experience and knowledge, and at the same time establishing network relationships. So those are the two types of programs that we organize. There are some guidelines, a process, how you would conduct, how do you go ahead in participating in it. I must confess though, one of the challenges that you would be facing is the cost. There is an application fee of about $800 up to $2,000 depending upon the duration in which you would be interested in, plus your living expenses, health insurance, food, housing, local travel. Those expenses are to be covered by someone. It could be the business where you are working, because you are enhancing your knowledge so that you will come back and work for your own company, so that it's going to benefit them. Or your parents, or your own pocket, your money that you have, or any other source. Or maybe the industry for which you're working in the United States. So it could be from any of those. So the question of your network and make arrangements for that payment. So that's how the program works. And it can be used by anyone. And though I am in Chicago, we can place people anywhere in the United States. As I said, we have 250 visas for working employees, professionals, and an additional 250 visas for college students or students who have graduated, or individuals who have graduated within the last 12 months. So that will be a kind of internship visas. So we have altogether 500 visas. I hope at least 20 or 30 of them will be taken by you. Thank you very much. I will be delighted to answer any questions that you may have at the end. Thank you.
Yeah, hi, I'm Charu Swaminathan. I'm from Chicago. I'm a founder of a company called Mishkalo. We are a very innovative, new age kind of a company in the wedding industry. The wedding industry is huge in the United States, and it's a $65 billion industry, just the wedding itself. And we are part of the registries. They're unlike Indian wedding market, where it's still in the early stages, and yes, people are very rich here and spend a lot of money on weddings, but the industry itself is not very streamlined or organized as in the US. And I am here, let me tell you a little bit about Mishkalo. It is a wedding registry, meaning when a couple gets married, they need household items and gifts. So they go to these department stores and select their gifts. They want a blender, a toaster, bed sheets, whatever. And they make a list that's called a registry, and the guests go and buy those for them. So instead of giving them something they don't want, they will help them get these things. And since now the demographics is changing, and a lot of people are getting married late in life and already live together, so they have their pots and pans and household items. Now my company provides, has artists from all over the world, and we help them, help the guests, get money from the guests and crowd fund one or two pieces of art for their home, so that something that's more meaningful, long-lasting, and valuable than pots and pans and blenders. So that's our main business, and we are a growing new startup from Chicago. We are seeking funding and investment now, and we are very excited about this. You can ask me any questions. I have two things that I wanted to focus on today. On the U.S. trade policy changes that have been happening in the last 2-3 years. The two areas where I feel India and especially Goa can benefit, and one is in tourism and one is in the wedding industry. Since I'm coming from that area, I can talk more about this. In tourism, well, Chinese people, they are the highest paying tourists in the world. They are backing away from going to the US now because of the tariffs and all this trade war going on. So India has a big opportunity to tap into these Chinese tourists, and especially Goa. by really branding themselves and presenting themselves to Chinese audience with a Chinese-speaking guide, Chinese food, and collaborating with Chinese influencers and social media and celebrities. So that's a huge opportunity I feel India is missing out on. And in the wedding industry, Trump has put 25% tariffs on fabrics, silks, and specialty fabrics, and the bridal gown industry, which is a $2 billion industry, everything is sourced from China right now. So they are looking for alternatives in Southeast Asia. They're going to Vietnam and Philippines. So India, and especially Goa, since they want to revive the textile industry here, has a huge opportunity, I feel, if they can provide silks and work, for bridal gowns. So anybody in the textile industry, if you want to talk to me later. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me later. Thank you.
When I got married, the gifts that I got included half a dozen table lamps, a couple of cooking pots, irons, and so on. And things have changed a lot now. When people get married, they're already equipped. Many of them lived together before, and then they've already acquired the basic essentials of home. They're looking for something different. And that's where I think Charu comes in, really, wedding registry, which gives a choice, and then it is a very innovative kind of scheme. And most innovations, come from the US, and this is one of them. And India is very quick to adopt them. So I wish Charu good luck, and then maybe this is going to be a starter in Goa. So with that, I'd like to hand over the mic to Girish Kapoor, who will be talking mostly in the consulting industry.
So thank you very much, and I'm very happy to be here on this panel. Thanks for having me here. So a little bit about myself. I'm Girish Kapoor, managing principal basically for Iris Consulting Services, where we basically provide IT, offshore services, managed services in different areas, all the way to ERP and things like that. We are also having another organization called Navjana, where we do a lot of services like research on services, innovation on services, where our focus is primarily to do research activities. A lot of IT service company only provide services, but nobody is interested to do research and find out what next is there. So from that organization, we are pretty much focused on emerging technologies within the emerging markets. And we use the data as our key input to understand where the business is going to grow, where are the new technology or areas one can focus from generating revenue either for corporates or government and things like that. So I will not take much time to give more detail on my profile, as I think we are here for a specific reason to talk about the strategic change from the US to India and specific to Goa. So I would like, back to you.
Yeah. I think that's a point that the US trade policies have changed considerably, and what is the strategic shift having impact on many industries. For example, in consulting, I'm not sure what's the impact it has got, but what does it represent in terms of opportunities for Goa and India? That is going to be the most important part of the talk. So we may talk more about the opportunities which the consulting industry gives, despite whatever is the strategic shift in the US trade approach.
Sure. As I said, we are very much into a business of research and innovation. And in past 3.5 years, we are seeing a lot of shift in the research from US and other countries to India. The one specific reason is because research is done with very specialized skills, and skills outside India is really very expensive, especially when you look after PhDs and MPhils and things like that. So from my perspective, when I look into from US and India and other countries where we go and find for the right skills, where they can come and identify a use case, for example, for healthcare or in automobile industry or retail or finance, where they want to basically understand where the market trends are and how the market will run in next 3 or 4 years. I will give you a very small example. Like our Prime Minister is, putting a tag on us, like saying, in next 2023 or 2025, we need to be 5 trillion market. Is it possible or not? We do that kind of research. We come out with the points where it's not going to be tangible, but it is somewhere we are reaching out and say, okay, is it possible or not? If it is possible, what are the areas that one should focus? that can generate that kind of, GDP and market for India. So from my perspective, I do see a lot of different shift from US specifically on the technology side. It's been there for a long time, but I think now they're focusing more on the research and innovation, which was primarily focused in either in US, China, or European market.
That's good. Before I pass on my concluding comments, are there any questions to the speakers? Please raise your hand, announce yourself, and ask the question addressed to the speaker. Anyone? Yeah, please go ahead.
Question is to Dr. George. You said that you have some visas where people can go and have their employment and training and then come back after 250 days or so. So what are the basic qualifications which they should have to apply for those?
Yeah, the basic qualification, or the minimum qualification required are, one, the person should have a bachelor's degree from outside the United States. Remember, the program is an exchange program for people across the country, across the culture. So it is not meant for people who have a bachelor's degree on education in the United States, because there are many Indians, including Goans, who study in the United States. Not for them. Those should have a bachelor's degree from any school outside the United States, one.
Thank you.
Two, they should have 2 years of experience. But that is a little flexible if they can show some other experience, before bachelor's degree, or there are other skills that they can use when they are in the United States. So essentially that's all the qualification. Then as I said, that's not the challenge. The main challenge an individual would face would be financial. That amount I told you, anywhere from $800 to $2,000 application fee, and the housing, food, local travel, insurance, and some administrative money. The whole of that together may come to about $1,500 to $2,000 per month, because living expense is not that cheap in the United States. But if you are creative, if you connect with some industries in the United States or your own industry here, there are many industries who are able to sponsor an individual. So that is the requirement. Maybe you didn't ask that question, but the process consists of sending an application, a CV, resume, and 2 reference letters, and the proof that you already have a bachelor's degree. Those are the documents needed and the process needed. And the whole, if you have everything ready, the whole application process may take just 2 months. That's all. That is for the training visa. The other visa, which is internship visa, is for a maximum of 12 months. The other one was for 18 months. This is for 12 months. And that also is open to a minimum qualification is almost nothing. You have to be registered in an accredited institution, a college student, private or public, doesn't matter, has to be enrolled in that school or graduated within the last 12 months. And then the financial requirements that I just mentioned earlier. Application process is the same and the duration is the same.
I will add
Could
one
I
more.
pass?
I'll add a supplement to what he said. This is not the only opportunity you have in the US for qualified people. There is another opportunity called Fulbright Scholarships. I served as a member of the Fulbright Selection Committee, and the entire selection process was handed over to an International Institute of Education based in New York, which was a partner with USAID, and that is again an opportunity open to nationals of India and many other countries. So if there is a qualified person, he really wants to do some research or go for further probation, maybe 1 or 2 years in some organization, that avenue is also open. So you have many opportunities, and he presented one, there's another one, there are many others too.
Education, how do you say bachelor? So is it like we have here BA, BCom, is that the bachelor degree which you will be considering? Which
Yes.
US,
Yeah.
or
It
they have
has-
some other
I know, that's any bachelor's degree is fine, any major, like, social work, teaching, IT, management, any, or subject will be fine. So the issue is not what is the qualification required, but whether you can find a matching placement agency in the United States. That kind of partnership has to be there. Like if I am from here and I am going to the United States to work, that means I should be qualified to do that work that the company has, right? So there has to be some criteria. You don't, like a teacher does not come to work in a hospital kind of thing. So there has to be that match so that both benefit. The person who goes from here works in that field and enhances his or her knowledge and skills, and the company, the organization where that person works also had to benefit from that person's work there. So that's what is required.
Good afternoon. My question is to Mr. Girish Kapoor regarding enhancement of engineers. Moderate was talking about innovation, enhancement of engineers, electronic industry, and support for the ecosystem in US through your consulting platform or his consulting platform. We have developed something, engineers in electronics, which has got global acclamation. It's like cup of water, day to day. Now you are sitting, four of you, you are using that. It is called flexible electronics. We have done 15 to 12 years of R&D and proved it, and our competitors are Samsung, iPhone, that level of people. But we are an R&D organization, so we want to facilitate it globally. Can I have a platform in US to structure it, strong footings through your consulting center?
Yeah, certainly, we can certainly build that platform. Building a platform is not a challenge. I think giving the quantify and, quantify results that what we are building to the large organization that they can use your research, right, or innovation, and they can build on it. So when you say it's approved, what do you mean? Like approved by the patent organizations and things like that?
See, this is what the technology is. This is a paper which has got wire, battery, and light. See, so this is a technology indicator. It's a raw form. Same thing you are using in your mobile.
Correct.
The battery, the defense, space, health, energy, everything. What it does is that the same light is in the paper form in your mobile, the display.
Yeah.
The battery, thin film form. The solar panel, thin film form. So, which means we are transforming hard gadgets into smart form, which is going to be the future, on a futuristic.
Correct.
All of us are consuming. We have our own formulations. We can compete at the global level.
Correct. So certainly we can collaborate on that and see how we can take your innovation back to US.
This is European Union, US, everybody we can accept it now.
Okay.
They tested it. The only thing I'm looking for is G2M.
Okay. So I think we need to step out of this panel and discuss more deep dive, like what
Yeah.
are you looking for?
Well, I
and
think
then we
this is
can
a
work
very,
towards it and make it happen.
As an involved question, there are many possibilities. I agree that there are certain technologies where India is superior. I'm not saying that US has everything. There are technologies which India can sell to the United States or anywhere else. Let me come to the concluding comments. India and the United States have been strategic partners for centuries. We have many common interests. There is a bilateral agreement. Right now, as I am talking to you, the US-India trade talks are going on in the United States. This morning I read that the finance minister said that talks are progressing very well. There is a strategic shift. Every country has its own strategy, and US too has to protect its own interests. Like you have Make in India, they have Make in the US. So they need to protect from many things. So they have shifts in the trade policy. It doesn't mean that they are going to remain forever. As you all know, the president can change his mind and something can happen. Most of you must have seen the Howdy Modi event in Houston recently, and how the Indian crowd and the American crowd, equally, they greeted each other, and the relations are going very strong as I see right now. And the strategic shift is not a hindrance. It is not a barrier to developing the trade. In the past, the US international trade, as I knew, I'm doing business with US and India for the last 30, 35 years. International generally meant including Canada and Mexico and neighboring countries. They never took a serious interest in India. Not so now. I see India as being seen as a great power, and there is a genuine interest being developed. I get many inquiries from the US companies which never looked at India as a market, today are looking up. So the strategic shift is in the outlook of US companies looking to India as a great market for them, for their products or technologies, and that is going to be really a beneficial thing for India, not really a barrier or a detriment. I only see the trade growing up, even if there are some little pinpricks like visas, but they have not stopped Indians from going in. US is still the most favorite destination for Indians. As we can see, Indians in America, they remitted over $65 billion in 2017. That's the kind of money that India got from the United States. Half of Silicon Valley is owned by Indians. So despite all the strategic shift, I only foresee the US-India trade is going to grow, and GOA is also going to be a recipient of that growth. Thank you very much for patience. Thank you.